The Prime Minister, does he stand by all of his government's statements and actions?
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
With the usual caveats, most certainly yes.
Entry. Who is correct, Christopher Luxon, when he said the decision to take billions of dollars from working Kiwi women has nothing to do with the budget, or David Seymour when he said that decision has saved the budget?
The reality is that the law change that is being restored, and it was changed in 2020 by all parties in this Parliament who mistakenly made those changes because no settlement happened since then. We're going back to the law of 2017. Listen, you might learn something. You might learn something. We're going back to the 2017 law that saw nurses gain $2 billion. We believe that a lot of statements being made now are statements that should not be made. Wait and see, because all those past claimants, 35 cases, can be heard the same way into the future, but the law will be different.
Supplementary question. Why did Nicola Willis call the pay equity process a sign of success last year if it now needs dismantling? And is the government's real motive to balance the books at the expense of working Kiwi women?
No, the motive of the government is to ensure we've got a workable law that compares like with like. You cannot have all these professions that are just miles and miles away. And dare I say, when you start talking about pay equity, the first thing you must understand where women is concerned is what a woman is.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker. Is his definition of a woman someone who's paid less than a man?
Sorry, there was a lot of noise during that question. We do want to have questions asked in silence. We can't start to break that down. I'd ask the Leader of the Opposition to ask his question again.
Is his definition of a woman someone who's paid less than a man?
Well, my definition of a woman is not what that member said. I'll get back to you later. And still can't describe it, and said the other day that it was someone who said that they were a woman. No, if we're going to deal with this issue properly, then let's respect women, ensure that they get a fair go, and the 2000, well, in your case, it'll be a quarter of what you're getting now. Oh no, they're women and women, you know.
Point of order, the Honourable Karen McAnulty.
Thank you. For absolute clarity, can you please confirm to the House that that answer was on behalf of the Prime Minister?
It's not for me to clarify that. It's for the person who's answering the question to clarify it. And until that clarification comes from that person, it can't be demanded by anybody else. A point of order, again.
With respect, sir, it is a requirement for ministers to indicate when they are answering on behalf of other ministers that they are doing so. And that is your responsibility to ensure that happens. And also, with respect, this is a point that I have made quite regularly with the Deputy Prime Minister answering on behalf of the Prime Minister, and you have already ruled previously that he is.
Well, I have in certain circumstances where he has made it clear, and it's for the House to determine. If someone stands up and speaks as a minister, then that is where it sits. I can't start telling them or demanding that they are speaking for someone else.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. It's on notice.
That is the point. That is the point, and think about what I've just said.
Yeah. If the Deputy Prime Minister is not answering on behalf of the Prime Minister, who's he answering on behalf of?
Well, you can make that conclusion yourself. He's not answering it as the Minister of Foreign Affairs or as the Deputy Prime Minister. He's answering as the Prime Minister.
Very good, thank you, Mr. Speaker. How is it showing respect to Kiwi women that the government's... Oh, supplementary, sorry, Mr. Speaker.
That's all right. I knew what you were doing.
Very good, thank you. Thank you. How is it showing respect to Kiwi women, as he claims, for the government under urgency to unilaterally cancel pay equity claims covering hundreds of thousands of New Zealand women who are being paid less than men simply because they are women?
Well, the last statement is categorically incorrect. The reality is we had all this... Do you want to hear the answer?
I think...
or do you want to hear your stupid voice?
No.
You can't have both.
Mr. Peters... OK, look, it's always an excitable time when the House is in urgency. But that's no excuse for things to break down quite the way they are. So we'll hear the balance of this question and answer exchange in silence. Right Honourable Winston Peters, do you want to add to that answer?
Why does he and his ministers keep denying the obvious, that this is about robbing Paula to pay Paul, stripping Kiwi women of fair pay to clean up Nicola Willis's economic mess?
To quote someone, I refute the premises of that question. The second thing is that the law worked successfully in 2017, as evidenced by the settlements. But when the law doesn't work, even though it was supported all by every party in Parliament, our job when we make mistakes is to recognise that and fix it where we are.